So I'm just double checking, making sure. Yes, it says you're live. So I'm hoping that the computer is not, playing tricks on me. So hello, everyone. So we're going to give it a few minutes so everybody can catch it, can catch up. And I know that I'm live and there's, Pinfresh Studio, which I'm hoping is Heather or Leah are there to help us. So welcome, everyone. So like I said, we're going to give it a few minutes. I know I'm a minute or two early, and it's just because I want to make sure that technology, if I tell you what happened to me, you're gonna laugh. But technology can be my Achilles heel. That's the best way to put it. So hello, everyone. Okay, I see it here. Heather. Okay, Heather's with us today. Hello, everyone. My name is Nathalie. This is, oh, thank you. I know I like my shirt too. I'm gonna turn on my phone right now. I just realized that it's on right next to me. My name is Nathalie D'Souza. I'm part of the video design team for Pinfresh Studio, and today we're gonna have fun. I'm gonna show you a cool idea to create, to add lots of pictures to a layout in a fun way. So we're gonna work on that. Hi, Esther. But before we go into all that stuff, because there's a lot, I haven't seen you in a while. Which is okay, I guess. It's good. It's vacation time. It worked out great for me. It worked out but we're gonna talk more about that while we're here. Hi, Kirsten. But there's a few things that I want to touch bases on. First thing, make sure you go and check the release for this month. It's all the holiday release and it's beautiful. I don't have any of it yet, but it's on my wish list. And there's a lot that you can do with it. But go check it out. There is a blog hop and there's also an Instagram hop. So make sure you check it out. I know there is a sale and I always try to pull them out and I always forget. But make sure you check that out. And remember, like I said, we're going to give it a few minutes before, we can start. Oh, welcome. Nilsa, is your first time? Welcome. I know quite a few of our friends that are going to show up today. And our viewership is a little bit smaller, and it has to do with the fact that there's summer. We come at lunchtime. So, I understand, but you know what? It's always fun. So just, I go back to what I was saying before. Be sure you check, Pinfresh Studio for the new release. Also for the sale, I know the sale ends today. I know that this last weekend was the second date to sign up for the holiday. No, it's not a Connect and my God, Create and Connect, which is the holiday edition. I will not. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Heather. Yeah, the current sale is in the Heartfelt Sentiments, so go check it out. Heather just posted a link. I won't be here because I'll be taking a vacation. So I won't be joining you in that. I'll be drinking coffee next to my uncle in Ecuador. So that's where my vacation is at. But make sure you check it out. There's also a scrapbooking event for the holidays that Annette and Kathleen are, hosting. Go ahead and check it out. I know that there is, I see somebody asked, do we have a holiday scrapbooking collection? I believe so. Just, I know that Kinari, who is the owner of Pinfresh Studio, prefers to show fall and Christmas in the fall, which makes sense because that's the time it should be shown. Not so much in advance because it just takes away the magic, and Christmas in July doesn't work for me, guys. I mean, I've been trying to battle the sun because I hate the heat. So, having Christmas doesn't make me any happy because I'm thinking, oh, well, just speed up the time so I can get to Christmas. So for some people, it makes me happy. But for some people, it's like me, it's like, not my cup of tea. But I am glad you guys are here. I am going to work today with the tourist mode collection. And it's going to, like I said, if you have a lot of pictures, you are in a good place because I'm going to show you how to incorporate a lot of pictures, smaller size. I'm going to talk to you about a few things about, why I do what I do. And I'm going to give you a few hints. So I'm going to flip the camera. It's 1 or 2 until I flip and I set up and we talk about everything because you guys know I can talk. Then we'll get started. So let me just remember, for me, it's just a button, but my button is hidden somewhere down here. And I'm just trying to work with, okay, there we go. See, I'm telling you guys, technology is gonna be the death of me, and not in a bad way. It's just, my husband laughs. I just like, I just smile and continue on. So there we go. You guys see me playing with the mouse. So I have everything on my table right now. I have it all set up. We're going to work from scratch pretty much. I had the idea. I worked a mock-up before, but we're going to show you exactly how I'm creating it. So I don't know if we have enough light on this side, but I'm just going to plug an extra light just in case. It's like very dark here in Toronto today. It's like very overcast. It's not hot, thank God, because like I said before, don't laugh at me. I don't do heat, even though I come from like what is considered a tropical country. I don't like the heat. So I'm going to turn extra light here. Hopefully, like, it helps a little bit more. Because it's like a little bit on the overcast side over here. Actually shadowy. So I think that helps. Yeah, that's better. So, hello, everyone. Just in case you just walked in, ready to get like, all like, I'm not going to say artsy because that's not the word, but we're going to get a little bit into die cutting and we're going to create something fun. And we're going to talk about all the things about travel today because I am getting ready to go on vacation. So here we go. We are going to use the tourist mode collection, and this was designed by In a Creative Bubble. Geraldine creates beautiful collection. So we're going to use pretty much all of it. For now, that's in my plan. We're going to see as we get along. So the idea today, and I pulled this die. This is the new shaker tag book from, it was released, in July, I believe. So still in the news section, I believe it's still there. But if you were in the first crop and create, no, it's not a crop and create, create and connect, the first scrapbooking event, this one was part of that event. Okay, so if you were in that event, this was part of the event. If not, it was released on July. So this is great because you can create mini books, you can create tags. Going to use part of this to create film strips. And I'm going to show you how we're going to about it, and we're going to use them to create a layout. So I am going to move some stuff out of the way. Let's start with the back. Okay, to show you. So what I need is, you're going to need this. You're going to need the insert that creates the shaker in your tag. This is what you're going to need. And I want to show you how to create this, things like this. And we are going to cut it out of pattern paper, and we're going to cut it out of cardstock too. So I have my mini die cutting machine because I don't need anything more than that. I have some plates here. I have my metal shim because I'm going to attempt to cut cardstock and the pattern paper all at once so that I can save on time. Okay. So my idea is I am pretty sure that if you guys are like me, when you go on trips, you have lots of pictures. You're going to see I have quite a bit. Doesn't mean I'm going to use all of them. So the key for me to create a single page layout using a lot of pictures, and when you travel, you tend to come home with a lot of pictures, is to make them smaller. Okay, so these pictures here, I went and sized them using this as my template. So this is, I believe, is 2 inches in width and 2 and like half-ish in height. So I've pretty much sized my pictures to that, and I give them a little bit extra. I like white frames around them just so that, it just gives it a bit more of a breathing space. So just to show you, like I said, I doesn't mean I'm going to use all of them, but a good way to add a lot of pictures in a layout and have that breathing space and have like everything look like nice and like, airy, and it's to actually size your pictures to be small. So that was the starting point for my project. And now we're going to move some stuff around. So we're going to get started. So let me just clean up my desk a little bit here. Not my desk, my table. I have my mini die cutting machine. So we're going to pull up papers. I have my base paper, which is this really light blue cardstock, like super, super light. So that is going to go to the side. And we're going to pull up some pattern paper. So I know that I'm going to use this. Let's move this out of the way. And you're going to see that I have pieces of some stuff and, so let's just remember, I want to create something like this. So I want to make sure that I have something that doesn't have that much detail when I die cut, so that it doesn't take away from the pictures. I'm not saying you're gonna go solid, but don't go with something that has a lot of detail either, because then it's gonna get like, very confusing when you die cut. So we're gonna look for papers that, I'm not gonna say they're solid, but they have more of like a repetitive pattern. And you wanna also get like colors. You're gonna see that my pictures aren't colored. I did not put them in black and white. So I wanna make sure that I have like, a nice combination of colors. And I know my friend Esther is probably gonna be pull out some yellow. We will, but not in the way you're thinking. So let me just look at this. I know that I want this paper. Now that I can pull something like this from here and it will look good. So this is one of the papers we're gonna use. So because this has the little dots, I don't know where I'm gonna land on, this, but I know that I want to use this paper. I was thinking this too, because once I cut it, it'd be a good thing to have. So these two papers for sure brings the green. My pictures have a lot of blue in them. So I think I'll be okay with like, and I need to bring something that is in between it. So I was thinking maybe this yellow, but it's a lot of patterns. So remember, even though I'm cutting a film strip, I want to make sure that this, don't clash. Yeah, Esther, don't get too happy. I'm not saying no, but I'm not saying yes either. I like this. I like kind of this neutrality. Is that the word? Neutral, yeah, of this here. I'm not loving this because I think it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna like clash a lot with the pictures, but I like these two. Let me just find, I know that I want to make 3 of them. Maybe this. Too many lines. Let's see, what else do we have? See, the fact that I thought about the project doesn't mean that I actually created ahead of time. Like I said, I have the ideas are always in my brain. It's just a matter of like, making them work. I might go with 2 blues. I don't know. I'm thinking either one of these 2. I don't know. I might stay all in the blues for today and then bring the color in between. So let me just put stuff away. And let me get my trimmer. So let's go at it. See, I have pieces of papers right now here. Clean that up. Okay, so I am going to pull also my guillotine. And I have here, I almost dropped one of the lights. And I have 110-pound cardstock, okay? Because this is, like I said, I am going to attempt, that's the best way, to cut the pattern paper and the cardstock at the same time. I want to do that because I want to give my film strip a little bit more of a sturdiness. The pattern paper as itself is beautiful. You guys know Pink Fish Studio paper tends to be thicker, so it's nice to work with. But because I want to play with my frames, on this case, the film strips, I want to create like a second one out of cardstock, kind of give it the little bit more of, you can call dimension or sturdiness. I'm going to call it sturdiness. Okay. So I have 110-pound cardstock here. And it's just the one that I use for like, cars and stuff like that. So I'm going to cut the cardstock. I'm going to make 3 film strips today. So you have to, the width of the film strip, and I played a lot with this last night, is 2.5 inches. So you're going to cut 3 strips of cardstock, 2.5 inches by 8.5. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the rest we're gonna set aside for a rainy day. We don't need this one. Let's put that away. So let's clean up. So I have my base. Now we're gonna transform into stuff here. Let's start with the paper. Same thing, we're gonna cut pieces 2.5 inches by 8.5. So I'm gonna start with this one. Let's see. Just remember that, like if you share or you comment at the end of the live session, and today we're going to go for an hour and a half, Heather will pick up a winner for a gift certificate to the shop. And there's a lot to buy at the shop. So, make sure you comment. Again, I'm cutting 2.5 by 8.5 strip. 2.5. So 8.5, so you see it better. 8.5. Okay, so here we go. So how is you like? I know a lot of you guys, well, not a lot of you. Some of you are in the States, which means you're already back to school. Yeah, for you guys. I am not. In Canada, I'm gonna cut it this way. I want the lines to go. You can go this way too. Depends. I like the arrows going like, left to right. In Canada, the kids go back to school, and I'm saying the kids because my kids work full time already and go to school. Well, my daughter goes to school and works full time. They don't go back to school until after Labor Day weekend. So my niece and nephew are still enjoying vacation mode, even though my nephew is confined to the indoors. He had a little accident on Monday. He went out to play with his friends. And next thing I know, I hear my sister calling me from the ER. He landed face first from the slide. So he had to get stitches, which wasn't a pretty thing, and now he cannot get wet or sweat or do anything because it's right on his eyebrow. So he's not enjoying the last few weeks of, I see I screwed up. It was 8.5. It's okay. I'm talking and I didn't realize it. It's okay. We'll save it for another day. 8.5. What did I do? Because I'm talking, I already screwed up. So let's see. 2.5. I don't know what I did. So yeah, it hasn't been fun in the travel. That's my sister's last name, married name. It hasn't been fun in the family this weekend. He wasn't happy. I felt bad, but then my sister, of course, because you got to understand how we tend to be a little bit on the comical side. She texts me and she goes, you know what? She goes, I'm with the kid here and he fell down. I think he needs stitches. We're gonna see. He goes, but you know who's here? I don't know if you guys have watched Schitt's Creek, which is a Canadian show. The girl that well, they happen to be Canadian. The girl that is in that show, she happened to be there with her kid. So she goes, I'm sitting right next to her, and her kid also has in her face. So she goes, it's okay, because she loves that show. So I said, oh, that's good. How's my nephew? She's like, he's gonna need stitches, So there's always a rainbow, but that's just to tell you, how my sister and I tend to find the comical side of things, and there's really nothing that we can cry. Boys will be boys. It's I'm not saying they're gonna kill each other, but sometimes my nephew can be a little bit of a crazy kid. He is a crazy kid. So he had an accident and he now 4 stitches just like my son does. So, he's not too happy to be inside, but so I have my 2. Like I said, I need a 3rd one. Let me this is the part where I gotta define my paper. So I'm kind of thinking, I was thinking this. So I can put, but I think it's too much blue. What if I do this side? Nope. See, this is the part where I darker blue. So let's go back to the colors. This is too dark. I want something that stays neutral and in between. So maybe I go with two white. I know I said I don't want to use yellow. And it's not because I don't, maybe a little bit too busy, but you know what? This one, it's not. So I'm gonna go with that. And that's gonna bring some of the green. So let's go ahead and cut a 2.5 by 8.5 inch strip. 2.5, 8.5. This should be around 4. There we go. Once we have that, then we're gonna start playing with the die. Okay, so we have our pieces. Let's put this away, we don't need it. Okay, we have our pieces here. And we also have our go pale yellow. I'm sorry, Esther. I don't think yellow is gonna work with this. Wait, just wait. We still have quite a bit to go, so don't worry. Okay, you gotta remember this is my neutral. Okay, so this is pretty much the formation. So all I'm doing is just matching them. Because like remember, like I said, I want to make my film strips a little bit on the sturdier side. That's why I am actually, gonna attempt to cut them all at once. So here's where we're gonna get into the technical part of this. I'm using a shim for this because like I said, I'm attempting to cut the two pieces at once. So get the inside of the inside of the tag, the one that creates the shaker. That's what you need. Yeah, I had here. Get some, I have washi tape or whatever. I happen to have mint tape handy, but anything that works. I'm gonna just hold them in place. And the film strip is not gonna sit on the same formation. It's gonna change. So this one is gonna sit at around 1/4 of an inch from the sides. So I'm gonna show you. Let me bring my ruler. Let me clean this up. So you see like 1/4 of an inch from here, 1/4 like ish, okay? It's not an exact science, to be honest with you. It's not exact, okay? And then I'm gonna start there. So again, take some washi, put it there so it doesn't move. And we're gonna start the die cutting. So talk to me, guys. What you guys have been up to? Like I said, shim, so hopefully it cuts all at once and I don't have to do a double pat. And I'm using my little Altenew machine, which is hopefully gonna be my best friend for the day. Oh God, there's a lot of paper. So here we go. And you're gonna see the table shake because of course I'm cutting everything right now live. So I think it did cut it. Yeah, there we go. So one out. Of course, I have the tape at the back. So keep your negative pieces, set them to the side, and we're gonna peel this off. Careful. Carefully, I should say, not careful. So you see, slowly. Okay, so now let me move this to the side. Let me put this here. I'm gonna take this off. Just peeling it carefully because again, you're gonna see why I have to be careful. Because when you put pressure, even though this is washi tape, it does tend to stick to stuff. So just gotta be careful. I am going to add a little bit of glue here to keep them together. So now that I have my cut done, I am going to glue them together. Yeah, so here we go. Let's put this away. So now I'm gonna move this. Again, think of it around 1/4 of an inch. So you see it, I'm gonna show you. I don't know if you can see it. On 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more. Okay. And this one we're gonna go ish. Okay, guys, because if we go exact science, well, if you guys know me, then we'll be here until next year here. So there we go. And pray for me that I can do this. But I know that I have to show you this live so you guys know how to do it. So of course the shim didn't go through. It's okay. I might use cardstock actually, just to help it. And we're gonna do forward and backwards. Cleaning the house. Oh my God, you're gonna put your house on the market? God bless you. Who has COVID? I hope I got a COVID at a wedding. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, you had COVID. My son, okay, this is again. My son texted me. He said a few days ago, he said, "Oh, I have a work function." He works for Mackenzie Investments here in Canada. And he said, "I have a work function today, so please don't expect me to come for dinner." He still lives with us, thank God. I have to go talk to portfolio. He deals with creating investments for companies. So he said, "I won't be home for dinner." So I said, "Okay, fine, And then he texted me maybe like 10 minutes before we went live. He's like, "Can you please add me to the dinner?" And he goes, "One of the portfolio managers that I have supposed to have a dinner with tonight has COVID. So the meetings have been canceled." So he's like, "Thank God thank God he told us. Otherwise, you know, you won't be able to go on your vacation." I was like, "Thank you, my child. I love you," from home, you know. But oh my God, all I've been doing is cleaning up the house. Oh, I know, putting the house on the market, that's a lot of work. That's, my heart goes off to you. So there we go. Okay, so we have one. For now, we're gonna leave it like that. So we have one. I'm going to glue it, and we're gonna keep working on the other one. So let's just glue this together. Let me make this. This has like suction attaches to my thingy. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue it. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna set it down here, put some weight on it, and we're gonna work on the next one. Okay, so for the next one. Now, when you look at a film strip, not all film strips start with a nice frame. Some of them start like this. And this is actually what makes it fun when you have pieces that look like this. So again, we're gonna start with a little bit of tape because it helps to keep everything in place. So a little piece of tape. I'm just gonna wrap it like this. So you're gonna get your little die. Remember, I run 1/4 of an inch from the edges. And I'm just going to right there. Yeah. So I want to create this effect. When you look at a film strip, you usually look at this something like this. So I'm going to create this. It's not like, mad science to create this. So it's just a matter, it's going to take us some time. But like I said, you have to see this so you can do it on your own too. Okay, see, this is what happens with die cutting live. Okay, so we got to go forwards and backwards to make sure that it actually, okay, and we cut backwards to make sure that we cut the pattern paper and the cardstock. I have 2 pieces that I'm cutting together. Okay, just in case you just walked in, I am cutting at the same time pattern paper and cardstock. So here we go. And I'm gonna save the negative pieces. Now that I know that these are they cut properly, I'm gonna go secure them. And so now that it's gonna go here and here. It's already secure. It's not secure. It's already properly cut. So I'm going to secure it with some glue. And with the pressure that I'm going to add from the die cutting machine, then it's going to be, forever stuck together. So then again, we're going to move it down around 1/4 of an inch or so. Okay, it's not an exact science. So don't but it's around 1/4 of an inch. So remember, 2.5 by 8.5. You can make them longer if you want to go the entire page. If you have a die cutting machine that can help you cut that, you shouldn't have a problem with any die cutting machine. That's the best way to put it. So here we go. I'm trying to read comments. So sorry that it's shaking everything. I just saw my hands and I think I'll never do it again. Oh my God, I don't even want to think about it. We went to see my father-in-law. Keep your negative pieces, by the way. On the weekend, he lives in the house that my husband inherited. Well, it's still half my father-in-law's, and the other half is ours. but he lives there, and we don't need it, to be honest with you. We are happy with the apartment. Thankfully, thank God, but we went to see him this weekend because it was his birthday, and we went to spend time with him. And for some reason, my mother wanted something from the garage. We keep some of the storage, because we live in an apartment, so we need to move stuff there. And I went into the garage, and I was like, oh, good Lord, please. I had told my mother, please tell me that what you need here is like something that can go in the garbage, because there's no way, God forbid something happens to my father-in-law, I am going to go pack by pack onto what you have here. She had container over container of like fabric. Remember, my mom is a seamstress. She had like, but I'm not going to say she had, because it's also stuff that I had my kids like school projects. I was like, oh, good Lord, why was I thinking? I had like 3 boxes, like, and I'm not talking about little boxes, but like those big Tupperware, I don't know how you call them, full of Tupperware, like that, because I have a lot, I have like an obsession with Tupperware. See, this is why, don't mind me on this, I'm just, the die cutting machine doesn't want to be my friend right now. Let's turn it this way. Yeah, there was so much, and my husband looked at me, he said, Natalie, if something ever happens, all of it is going to the garbage. I said, oh my God, my kids' projects when they were little, like, you save stuff, but I didn't realize that I saved a lot. Like, I saved a lot. But, I feel for anybody that had to pull their house on sale, because I looked at it this weekend, and just the idea that I had to clean all of that, it gave me a headache, and I was like, let's get out of here. I told my mother, just pick up whatever you need to pick up, and we need to be out of here. And my husband just laughed, because he's the one that takes stuff to the storage. I never go, aka my garage. I never go. I just, I'm like, oh yeah, take this, take this, take this. And then when I went to see it, I was like, oh, good Lord, what am I doing? So there we go. Let's carefully peel this out. Now, well, let's glue it in place so it doesn't move. So if you're in the process of selling your house and you have to clean it, and then you have to stage it, because it's not just about cleaning the house, then you have to stage it, then you have to repair it. It's a lot. It's a lot. I agree with Heather. One of the most stressful things you can do is move or pack. We own a company. My husband owns a company that's what he does. That's what he do for a living. He moves people overseas. He owns a freight company, and the stories the man can tell of people, it's just amazing. And he says, I will go and move the large pieces. My husband refuses to go and pack the small thing. He has a crew that gets to do that. And he goes, because the things that you see and finding people want to take or want to save, he goes, it will give you a headache. And when I looked at this weekend, I was like, my poor husband must be thinking, you're not any better than all those people that I moved, Natalie. So, so here we go. See what the difference is? Where's the other one? So we're creating our film strips. See how they change? Okay, so we're gonna go with the other one. Our last one is here. And we're gonna give it again, another design. So when they're like, side by side, and they're not gonna be side by side. We're gonna move them a little bit still. So there's still quite a bit we're gonna do. So if you're planning to work with me, along with me, I'm gonna suggest just take your time, watch a little bit with me, and then, we plan after. So here we go. See, I have one that goes full, one that goes partial. So when you put them side by side, picture, so you can see it better. I'm gonna clean up a bit of the mess that I have here. Just so you see it. The idea. And I'm using the blue because it's gonna enhance my pictures. That's what I'm using, a lot of blue. Okay, this is just gonna make the pictures pop a little bit more. So I need to create a different design for the third one. And this one most likely is gonna go in between to break all the coolness, like, all those cool tones. So let's consider what we're going to do. Let's put the pictures back into my little container here. So I have this. I'm thinking, let's see, something in betweenish. Something kind of long down here. I'm gonna go the opposite, so kind of like this. Here, so I'm gonna go around there. And this is not straight, so I'm adding a little bit of tape to hold them together. And I'm gonna go pretty much full there. There we go. Here, let's go ahead and cut it. And we're almost there. So last year I went to my entire place. You put it for sale, every box. Oh my God. Oh God. Just to think about that, I will have to go through that. It gives me, it is a lot of stress. That's all I'm gonna say. If what is it? A couple of weeks ago, I decided to clean up again. I decided to clean up my just the area where I work, because I realized that there was a lot of things like, sometimes you accumulate things, and then when you decide to use stuff, you can't find it, and then you get frustrated. I don't know if it happens to you guys, but to me, it happens a lot. I think I am more productive when I have either a complete kit with me or like specific stuff. But when I get a lot of choices, I tend to be overwhelmed and end up using nothing. And my process gets like really frustrating. It gets really long. But when I have something that is like some specifics, I'm kind of forced to use it. So I know what I'm going to do. So I decided to clean up right next to my dining room table. I have like this big shelving unit. I bought for IKEA. Don't ask me the name because I wouldn't know it. Let's glue this together so it doesn't move. But my husband bought it, but it's like just like metal and glass. So I can put shelves in it. I can put like baskets and stuff. And I have like what I use the most, like my inks, my Pinterest Studio inks, my brushes. I have my stamps. Most of them are sitting there, like the ones that I use daily. Then my, I have like cards and stuff like that. But I have like in the middle section, I have a shelf that is all full of ephemera and like my stitching, what do you call it? My embroidery floors and stuff like that. So it was a lot. So I decided that, of course, in true Nathalie form, at midnight, I decided I'm gonna clean. Next thing I knew, I look up, it was 3 a.m. and my mother was looking up to go to work. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm cleaning up. She goes, at 3 a.m? She goes, really, Nathalie, at 3 a.m? I'm like, yep. And I went to bed at 3, woke up at 7 because my husband had to go to work, and came to realize that I had not moved anything. And that because I left things on the floor, my dog had a feast on it and opened a few packs of ephemera with his mouth. Ripped up a few papers because I was just so tired that I just I didn't know. When you have the pile of the keep, not so sure, and the throwaway, well, he went into the keep pile. So it was kind of pretty nice. But that just tells you like an insight on how I distash. Yeah, so moving, imagine if I had to move, eventually we all, the whole reason for us to get in the apartment when we got it, when my daughter was about to be born, is that my mother, first of all, was coming to live with us. And that meant that she's older than me, obviously, that eventually she won't be able to go up and downstairs. That would have meant in the house, because we lived in the house when we first got married. So we're like, okay, it's not a good thing. I was a stay-at-home mom with two, my son and my daughter are 4 days from 2 years, so they're like 2 years apart. And I had like a toddler, and I was gonna have a newborn baby. And my husband said, I don't do snow. Well, how can I do snow when you have I have a kid and a baby, and stairs with the kids. So we said, you know what, let's buy an apartment with my mom. Eventually she won't be able to go up and downstairs. We even, we told my father-in-law, and he's thinking about it. It's about selling his half of the house. Well, probably we will buy it, and going into an apartment because he's getting older. He's 82 now. Yeah, so can't live in the house. He spends most of his time, either he comes down and spends the entire day downstairs. He goes to he goes on a club and like a seniors club and stuff like that. or he'll like stay the whole day upstairs. So slowly we're realizing that he's coming to an age where he might also need to do what we did 20 years ago, which was going to an apartment. So he already has mentioned it. So I know that when we have to pack this house, it's going to be a tough one, guys. Like I said, I feel bad for my husband that does that for a living. So we're done with this. We're done with the die cutting, and we have our film strips now. Okay, let's put stuff away because let's clean up. Okay, so all you need is, this is the shaker tag book, and you need this inside here. Okay, so now let's clean up. You're gonna see me make noise because I'm just trying to put stuff away. I have all my little pieces. I'm not gonna throw them. I have them all here. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and secure this and trim the excess because I have some excess cardstock here. Super simple, nothing complicated, but a fun idea to, add stuff onto your project. So here we go. Get a pair of scissors. Purging, oh, I know. Purging is good. Purging is excellent. The only bad thing about purging is that when you have like, in my case, and I gotta be honest, because my husband said this, when you love things as much as I do, that's very bad. That didn't sound really good, but it is true. I like things, certain things I like shoes and shirts and paper. When you like certain things and Tupperware, obviously, you tend to collect a lot of them. So it's hard to say, how like that. What is the name of the lady on Netflix that does, and she has a book. Is it Marie Kondo? That she says, whatever brings you joy, you're supposed to keep. And I told my husband, there's no way I'm getting rid of my shoes because they bring. Said, well, you're not with me all the time. I'm still keeping you. So, there's a key right there, So you bring me joy, but you're not with me 24/7. I'm still keeping you. So there's no way I'm getting rid of my shoes. There's no way I'm getting rid of my paper. So there's no way my shirts, I got rid of some of them. Handbags, you love handbags? Not a fan of handbags. I have one purse and I change it whenever, it gets killed. Sorry, guys, I had to drink water. Okay, so I'm just trying to purge and clean my desk. So there we go. Yeah, so imagine when, if we have to move. Oh my God, my husband will probably, he'll probably kill me by the time he sees closet and every stuff that comes out of there that I have, and I'm not the only one. We gotta be honest. We all have those special papers that we're waiting for the perfect picture to show up, and we cannot get, we cannot get away with. You can't throw them. You want to keep them forever. I have those too. So you're not the only one. So my idea, see, we're done. The majority of this is done. Now we're going to get into putting this together. So my idea, you can do a lot. So you can go literally straight up and down. I want to bring a little bit of movement. So I was thinking sort of like this. And some of it is going to overlap and some of it's going to be little, and that's okay. So let's see, I might actually move this here. So we're going to play with this before we get to the pictures. I like this. So they don't have to be on a straight line. I'm just going to play with the idea a little bit before we commit to putting pictures here. I like this. Okay, so a little bit here. Oh, I know. I'm the same way. Trust me. I totally understand what you're saying when you're you have so many papers, but you only can get. I feel you. I understand you because that's me. Like I said, I purge one night, 3 o'clock in the morning. True Nathalie D'Souza fashion. 12 o'clock, I decided to start purging. To wake up to my dog had eaten a ephemera pack from a really old collection that I was stashing away for a better day. Some 6x8 paper, but he hasn't even eaten it. He just like, started digging through it. So, but it was garbage. So there we go. We have our, going back to this instead of talking, going back to our layout. So you see the film strips, I don't want to put them straight. I'm going to give them a little bit of movement. And here's where the key is going to go. Okay. You can go ahead and fill up the entire film strip with pictures. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pictures. I think I might use 4 or 5 at the most. Okay, because I do want to give him some breathing space. Okay. You want Word for the Years, use the good stuff? Good for you. Good for you. So these pictures all here are for my cousin. This is the latest trip. They went to Cartagena de las Indias in Colombia. So I have my goddaughters and my uncle, my aunt. They usually take a family trip. We won't usually when I go down there, we usually tend to go go somewhere. I am not, because I'm going for one of my cousins getting married. One of my uncles is turning 63 and actually having a party. So I'm going to family functions when I go down on my vacation. So I want to get a representation of their days. I know that this was the first day, so I kind of separated it into pieces. First day was here. Second day is here. And third day, well, they went for a week, but I pulled out just a few pieces. It might be a few dates in between. So you can easily go and fill up, in a chronological order, and this will work great. So like I said, the key, make your picture smaller. Okay, now those two, so that's my little Isabelita in the airplane. These are my 2 little kids, and I'm gonna leave some empty space. So I'm not gonna fill them all with pictures, but you could if you want to. I want some of them at the beach, so I might actually skip this one here. Because you want to give this a little bit of a breathing space. And I might actually use this one. Even though I have documented this for me, I'm going to put it here because this I'm going to take for my cousin. I'm taking 2 entire 12x12 albums for my cousin of the layouts of my goddaughters. And then I think for the third day, this is my cousin. She grew up, she's like my little sister, literally. She grew up as such. And of course, I happen to be godmother to both of their daughters. So I'm thinking that I want to put it here. Again, empty space up here. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can move it here. Let's see if I can cheat and don't cut faces. That's the thing here. So let's move this one. I want to make sure that when I put it, I don't cut faces. So we're going to put it there. Here we go. I know that this picture has to come here somewhere. Okay, so I'm able to put 8. I might actually take this one out here. Another one of my cousin's husband, my cousin, and the 2 girls. I like that. If I wanted to add more, I could easily add another one here, which I might. I don't know. But just so you see, you can add a lot of pictures. Okay? You can add a lot of pictures. So you create your film strips, and having these little frames creates a separation. So you're able to put a lot of pictures, and this is gonna create separation so it doesn't look bulky. So a great idea for a layout for a lot of pictures. You don't have to make your pictures 4x6. You can make them smaller, give them a little bit of wireframe, give them space to breathe so everything shows nicely. So that's my 2 cents for you. I could even put that one here. So I don't know. Let me see. But let's start gluing this. So I pretty much know where everything is gonna go. This one's gonna sit here. I know that she will want to see herself. That's my other, I'm gonna show you the picture. This little girl here, her name is Nathalie Tarko, which is my original name. She is my uncle's. I grew up as his daughter. My father and I don't have the greatest relationship. We grew up without the dad, but my uncle makes sure that we were loved, very, very deeply loved. So we call them dad. And so when my cousin, had a kid, one of the speculations for them to have the kid, it was that it was going to be named after me. That's how much my uncle loves me. Like literally, guys, I'm not like exaggerating, but that's how much my uncle loves me. And my cousins too. Not just my uncle, my cousins too. Like I said, I'm the first cousin, the eldest one, and I'm like older by like around 8 years. So we were there for a long time before the little kids that my sister and I called them showed up. So when they came, we were so happy. So it's this family that keeps me going back, to Ecuador every time that I can. So there we go. All I'm gonna do is just glue it back, like back in the empty spaces of the film instruments with the picture. And here's what I said, that adding a little bit of cardstock is gonna make it sturdier. Okay, so consider like, cutting it like I did with the pattern paper with the cardstock. It's just gonna make it a little bit sturdier. It's gonna create a little bit of dimension. You don't have to, but it does makes it easier to like, handle. Okay. How do I print my pictures? I use Lightroom to print all my pictures to edit them. But again, I do this in my computer. If you are doing it, I'm gonna just pull out my guillotine while I'm talking. If you do like, the editing on your phone, there are apps out there based on the phone that you use, meaning the operating system that you can use to make your pictures smaller. I know that if you have an Apple phone, Print to Size is the app that you want to look for. If you have an Android phone, then you want to look at things like Snapseed. You want to look at things like Print to Size, to size your picture smaller so you can put them into a grid. I know that there's templates that you can buy for Lightroom. You can put them into Canva and then cut them into smaller sizes. So there are ways, guys. I know that, it is not hard. Trust me, there are apps. Like I said, if you do everything on your phone, there are apps out there that will help you with sizing your pictures. I use the laptop for everything. So I'm able to use Lightroom in my laptop for this. So all I'm doing right now is just backing the pictures. I'm gonna leave some space because you're gonna overlap this. Okay. I don't know if I want to add this picture, but I think so. See if I overlap it. I want to leave this one empty, that much, So let's start with the one at the bottom. So keep talking to me, guys. We still have, I think, another 45 minutes. Oh no, half an hour. But the bulk of our layout is gonna be done here because we're gonna give it air and space to breathe, even though we have a lot of pictures. So if you want information on what apps, honestly, if you use your phone for editing, just go into your operating system, and trust me, you will find a lot of apps that do that. If you do an Apple phone, check Print to Size. I think you have to pay for it. I'm not so sure, but check it, and that's one of the best apps you can use. So let me see which other one. I want the one of them at the beach. I'm just gonna play with it again to make sure that I'm putting. I want to have that empty. Let me see before I screw this up. And now I want this here. I want my cousin up here. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this empty. So you still have 40 minutes? Yeah, no, I'm doing fine. Heather, when Heather talked to us a few weeks ago, we had a chat about we're gonna go for an hour and a half. We're gonna make it every other week, so you guys have more time to see our complete processes. And I understand, because when we were down to having just an hour lives, we have to do quite a bit of the work ahead, and to make sure that we can fit the entire process. So for example, I would have just die cut the frames ahead of time, and I'll show you how, probably talked about it, but I think you get a better idea on how I went and creating them with having more time. So I totally understand. Usually when we have a class, depending on how much time I have, I usually size them properly. Remember, I'm gonna move this. I make sure that this picture, that I'm not gonna cut heads or faces on that. So okay, So I do like the hour and a half. It's gonna, you guys are gonna see like, from beginning to end layouts. So that's great. And we're not going to skip, stops or what you call steps. We're gonna show you everything. So it's actually gonna benefit you in the long run. And it actually helps us too, because then we can actually, go from start to finish and show you everything, what we think, how we did it, how we cut it, why we're doing this. So it's a great idea. Now, if you want more, then you talk to Canary and Heather. That's not up to us. That's up to them. So, because I know somebody asked me, how come you haven't been live? I'm like, it's, you got to talk to my bosses. Because in reality, they are like, they are our bosses. So here we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and trim this. Like I said, just be mindful when you do things like this that you don't, the picture that you're going to put there, it's not going to cut ahead or, I'm very careful about those things. One of the pet peeves that I have. Okay, but it does look like a film strip. Okay, so let's see. The empty spaces, we're going to fill them with paper. We're going to fill them with some ink. So we're going to get to that right now. Like I said, if you want to, you can add more pictures too if you want. It's completely up to you. See, I said I was going to leave this blank and I didn't, and that's okay. I like that. Yeah, like, yeah, you can, like, the more you guys watch with us, the more you guys join us, and it's not because we're promoting, like, us, not at all, but we, like, I know that Kinari and Leah and Heather are always looking up for, like, what you guys want to watch. And, we, in this case, I'm talking about Kathleen, Leah, and Heather. We want to show you how you can use the products that you guys are purchasing, in this case, Pinkfresh Studio, for your projects. We love the products. I know you guys love them. We are here to help you, and that's what we tell you. If there's something that you're gonna watch or you want to see, leave it in the comments. Say, you know what, I would like you to do something with this, because I know there's a lot of stamps and stencils that you might not see, how you can use them in a layout or something like that. Leave it in a comment there, and we'll come back, to show you stuff. So I see somebody that asked, what did I use? But you might have come late. I use this. This is the shaker tag book. I only use the inside of the shaker to create my film strips. Okay, you find everything that I'm using is linked in the description of this video. Everything is available at the shop. So we make sure of that too. Make sure that when we come live, you guys can, find everything in the shop. So, okay, so we like this. So now it's about filling up these spaces. Okay, so we have pattern paper. Remember, like I said, do not throw away your pieces of the white cardstock. And I pulled 2. So I like this 2. Let me pull the pictures away. Okay, so I'm going to use 2. I think that I want to probably put it here. Okay, and probably put it here. I'm going to put pattern paper. You want to use one for your journaling, so you can actually use one and put it there. I know that I'm not going to journal because my cousin just, when she came here and she looked at my albums, she sends me the pictures. I think we talked about this before. We have a Google album where my cousins put pictures, so everybody can see them. So I'm free to, I set it up, so I'm free to use them. And she doesn't want the pictures, like, to journal. She just wants the pictures to have in a nice album to show people. So I think that I might use them here. So I like this, but I don't want to leave them white. So I'm actually going to ink them. And that's what I've added in the list, ink. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And that's what I'm using also, like, not a white background. This background is like a super light blue color. Okay, so when I move this to the side, I could leave them white if I want to, but I think I want to add a little bit of ink. And here's where I'm going to bring yellow for my friend Esther, who's been asking me to use yellow a little more, that, you know, because she loves it. Not one of my favorite colors. I gotta be honest. I don't know. It was never a color that my mother made us wear when we were little, because my mother's not fond of yellow either. So I am going to get a mat. This is just an old, you're gonna see it's an old silhouette mat. It's old. It's not even sticking up that much more, but it's gonna help me to keep my little pieces down. Okay, so I'm gonna press down so that I'm able to ink them. I'm gonna use let's start with a little bit of lemon whip. I don't want a lot of color, so I'm gonna make one. Let's see, lemon whip will be let's go with lemon whip. So I have lemon whip, I have a brush. I'm using the bigger ones. I'm not using the Pink Fresh Studio because I want to go in a bigger area. So I'm gonna go to the corners, kind of darker at the edges and lighter towards the center. So if you're like a Cricut user or a Silhouette or a scan and cut, brother scan and cut, and you have mats that are like, are well loved like mine is, don't throw them away, keep them, and they can help you to keep your stuff like, in place while you're inking. They are tacky, they're not sticky, they're tacky, like super low tack, so they're perfect for this. Okay, so a little bit of yellow. Yeah, for us, yellow was not a color that it was, no, not one of my favorite colors. And we've talked about this a lot. So you see a little bit of yellow. It plays nice with the other colors. So let's go back to the layout so you guys see it. Okay, I'm gonna move this out of the way. Okay, I haven't glued this yet, so I'm able to freely move them around. So a little bit of yellow, and I'm gonna stash it underneath. Okay, and of course, that's gonna be an embellishment right there. Okay, so it's just gonna give me like something that it is gonna make the embellishment pop, and it plays nice with the rest of the stuff. And that's what I said, soft colors, not a lot of pop. Okay, we still have pattern paper that we can use. So I have this pattern paper that happened to be here. Okay, and this is literally gonna sit right there. I can go with the gray, I can go with this, but I think this is where we're gonna use the 6x6. So I am not going to keep it in place. Remember, this is the inside of this. So washi tape, I'm gonna put it there. Take a piece. We'll glue, once we are ready to secure it, then we'll do the final, we'll come back with glue, but for the time being, so we're able to move it and see what it looks like. There we go. Okay, so it stays now as one. I'm not gonna cover all of it up, but I know it is my idea was to have them like this anyway. So it's gonna be a little bit higher. But that yellow is a nice something that's gonna make these pictures pop. So here we go. See it slowly. Okay, I got here. So like I said, pattern paper. Let's see, what do I have my next? Sorry, I just dropped the ephemera on the side here. So the next one, I'm not gonna go with yellow. I think I want to add a little bit. If you see there weren't a lot of pinks. I want to bring a lot of that pink to the page. But I am not gonna go with pink because this collection doesn't have, it has kind of a corally tone. So I'm gonna go with probably coral reef. Okay, so let me find my coral reef brush. Here we go. And again, I'm gonna go heavy on the edges and light as I go into the center. Okay. Press. And I'm gonna go lightly with this. I don't want it to be super red. So I just want like a hint of that warmish pink, just to bring some of the pinks that you see in the pictures to the page. And the cardstock that I'm using on the background, it's 110 pounds. It's not like, nothing specific, just one that it was heavy. So it's not super white. So it has a little bit of a creamish tint to it. I don't know what it is. I think it's Michael's. So there we go. Okay, let's put the inks away. You never use your ink pad before like this? Like your mat? It just, don't throw away your mat. Well, you should throw away your mat. Again, then we go about hoarding stuff. You should throw away your mat, but, there are uses for them. And you can wash them and the ink will come out. But for now, we're just going to put it away. Okay, so let's go back to our layout. I think I can put this here, or I can put it here. Yeah, I like that. So we're gonna take it back again. Some washi tape. Okay. Here. There we go. And this one here, I am not. I think I'm going to use pattern paper. But if I change my mind, I have my inks and everything on the side. So, okay. Let me see. Let me have a little drink of water and then we'll go. Okay, let's pull out the pattern paper now. Where's my 6x6 paper pad? Right next to me. Again, haven't glued anything yet. We're just going to go at this. So you see these little ones here? Thinking that if I can use some of this here, I might have to go to the 4x6 for this, to the 12x12, the 4x6. See, I like this green, and this is a piece that I had left over from a previous project. I'm thinking that too much pattern. You see, it has too much pattern, so I have to go with something that has a writing or something in it. So let's see. And you're gonna see that my 6x6 is in pieces because my collections are well loved, guys. I love the papers, so they're being used. I don't like this. I think it'll be something that brings a lot, and I can, pop it in. I still have this piece here, so don't forget that I have to add something here. So I think that I'm going to back it with this. Sorry, guys. And I'm going with this because the pattern tends to be a little bit smaller. So let's see. Again, glue. And I'm going to go with this part here. Okay, I'm going to cut the excess. So I'm cutting in, I'm slanting my scissors a bit. Water went the wrong way. Okay, so you're gonna see, and I still have this little piece here, and I have this piece here. So I know that here we're gonna add more of this. So let's add another piece here. There we go. Sorry, guys, like I said, move this to the side. Yeah, I'm gonna get a little bit of ocean breeze. My brush here. Take a spot with a bit of yellow. Yeah, I'm bringing a little bit of yellow, so I'm making Esther happy. And like, you know what, yellow is always good, especially because all these are like, this is like I said in Cartagena de las Indias, that's in Colombia. And it's like beach town. It's really, really beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Haven't been there in ages. I was little when we went last time there. But they went in September of last year, and I have all the pictures. This year, my sister was there a couple of weeks ago in Ecuador. They went to the Amazon, which is always fun. And this time that we're there, we are not planning on doing a lot of traveling, because we usually go to Ecuador and then we travel again in there. Like we go to Colombia, or we go to Peru, or we go to like, we're not, because like I said, one of my cousins is getting married. So that's the reason why we're traveling to attend the wedding. And I just want to go have coffee with my family. I just want to go, like I told my daughter, because my daughter's coming and my mom are coming. I said, I don't care what I do. All I want to do is sit down with my family and drink coffee. That's all I want to do. I'm going to hold my uncle's hand all the time, like he did when we were little. And I am just going to sit next to him and drink coffee and chat and hug my little girls and hug my cousins. I haven't hugged them in 5 years. That's all I want. So I'm just trimming stuff, making sure everything is in place. So you see those little spots, that's just like a rest for the eye. Okay, so we need something here. We need pattern paper up here. So maybe I repeat this just so there's like repetition. I think so. So I'm gonna move here. Let's do some repetition here. Let's see, I was thinking, let's go up here. I like this part. So repetition is a good thing. Okay. Oh, Heather, I'm planning to have, I told my uncle already, I said, my uncle is 65, more 60s. We are 20 years apart. That's how apart my uncle and I are. We're 20 years apart. So he is going to be 60. And let me, the number exactly this year. He's going to be 68. No, what am I saying? 68. Yeah, he's going to be 68 this year. And I am going to be 48 this year. But like I said, my uncle and I, I wasn't lucky with, my father, but I was blessed with uncles, because I have another uncle that is younger than us that loved us. Like, you guys have no idea. So I am dying to go see them. And my uncle lives like in the beach, like in the coast area of Ecuador. He and I am going to stay in the mountain area of Ecuador. That's where we're from. They're going to make the trip, so I'll be able to see them. It's just going to be fun. I don't care. I really, at this point, I don't care, but all I do is sit down. I have so much, guys, I have a lot of family. I have a lot of family. Honestly, I have a lot of family. So I'm happy to go see them. So there you go. You see, I have everything ready. You see how like a little bit of pattern paper, and we're still going to put stuff on top of it. So don't think that it's just the pattern paper. If you just want to back it up, you can add pictures here. For me, I just want to give it some space to breathe. I want to give some embellishing, but my title is going to sit up here. So you just, so you see it. My title is going to sit up here. It might be a large title. I could easily trim this and frame it with something else, but I don't want to. I don't know yet. So I'm not going to say I don't want to. I don't know yet. But let's get to gluing this. You're going to need foam adhesive for this, okay? Because when you glue the film strips, like, one on top of the other one, it is going to create a little bit of dimension. So just be mindful of that. You could also, like, if you don't want to, like, add foam adhesive, or you don't like dimension, which is okay, you can set them straight onto your layout. I will suggest, if you're going to go that way, then get another one here. Okay, so just so you see what, what I'm talking about. You can add more pictures. I will probably move it to the right. So let me just show you the idea. I will trim this, okay, to around there. Put it on a piece of pattern paper, and then add my title at the bottom. That will be my choice if I wasn't adding, like, dimension. If you want to make it into a double page, then, just keep the design on the other page. Add larger pictures if you want to. This is a great, great, great idea for multiple pictures. So let's start by gluing this one, because this one's going to stay flat on the page. Remember, this one is the one that's going to sit on top of the two of them. So here. Okay. So a little bit of a slant, remember, not, you still want it to be semi-straight, but a little bit of an angle is going to work great for this. Okay. And then this one, we're going to a little bit of it. You want to have that break. Okay, so this one, and remember, until you don't press, you can still move the paper around. So I'm not pressing yet. I'm going to leave a little bit of a space. Okay, I haven't pressed. This one here is the one that you're going to need foam adhesive, because that's the one is the one's going to sit on top of the two frame, the other film strips. So I'm not going to peel it yet until I know exactly how it's going to sit. See, I'm still able to move this. Tape doesn't become permanent until you press on it. Something I've learned. And this one, I want it to be a little bit like that. Perfect. Let me see, a little bit here, a little bit lower, a little bit higher. You can play with this. I'm just going to see what looks better. I think a little bit higher, so the pictures, yeah. Let me see a little bit. Let's see there. I like that. Okay, so we're going, I'm not going to move this. I'm going to glue this one in place. Let's see this, especially this part here. Okay, let's see. We're going to move it right here. We're going to move it a little bit higher. And by moving them high, I'm going to tell you why I'm moving this a little bit, so you guys understand. If I put them like side by side, nothing wrong with it. I had tape in my finger and I just put it on the picture. I didn't realize it. Sorry, guys. I was just thinking, why is my finger stuck there? And I realized that I had glue. Okay, so by moving my frame a little bit higher when I put it in an angle, it actually creates a zigzag on the picture. So you're going to see that your eye is going to go, woo. Okay. Sound effects too. There you go. So you see kind of on a V. Okay, and that's just, it's great for your design because your eye goes like, literally, I am pushing your eye to go through the entire page. Okay, so just little things that are going to make your design a little bit more impactful. I was trying to think in my brain what is the right word. So now we're ready to glue this. And once we put this down, then we're going to press. Okay, so remember, this one is a little bit lower. And now we're going to press on everything because we want it to stay in place. So there you go. So I'm going to show you a little bit so you see it. There's a little bit of dimension. There's not tons. It fits nice in your page protector, so nothing to worry about. Okay, let's clean up a bit. Trying a little bit of water went the wrong way and it's making my nose like all like, you know, runny and everything. So I'm thinking we're going to add my title. I think, like I said, my title is going to go here. I most likely will add like space for the lines of journal, even though I know she's not going to, but, or I can cut it and frame it. But for now, let's keep working on this. So here's when you're going to bring your ephemera and all your embellishments. We can have them right next to me. Just do a little bit of cleanup. Okay, there we go. So you have lots of spaces to embellish. Okay, so you have tons of space to embellish here. Even though it looks like, you know, there's a lot of pictures, it doesn't look busy. That's the whole point. Okay, so we'll talk more once we keep going. Okay, so let's take a look at the ephemera. I like this dream destination. I was thinking probably yellow on yellow. Think of it as like, you know, tone on tone. I like the way it looks. What if I stash it? I am thinking here, no. It might be a little bit too big for my taste. So, you know, like, I think it's going to be like overtake a lot. So it might not make it. So we're going to go for it. Let me just take a look. You know what? It's easier for me to look at the ephemera. Yeah. I should have marked, let's stay for a while. Let's see if I have that one. See the size. Enjoy this. Go. I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm just trying to see, like, you know, what ephemera I have left. I forgot that I did not. Usually when I get ephemera, whenever I use, I mark off, you know, but I forget to do that on this one. I'm trying to see Adventure Time. See, I will love it, but what I don't like is the fact that it's a farm. So I need something that's a little bit on the beachy side. So I'm just looking at stuff here that I have left over to see if I have anything or something that is See this view. I like this more like, see? I like the fact that it's within the frame. Oh, trust me, I have albums, you know, the only thing is you have to remember, I'm going to Ecuador. I tend to bring presents for all my little, first of all, I'm bringing dresses for my little ones for the wedding, because I always bring stuff. I'm bringing chocolate because my family loves American and Canadian chocolate, so I'm bringing chocolate for them. I'm bringing there's little things, and between those little things, eventually I'm just taking a break to drink water. The little town that I'm from, I have not that many family from my dad's side, but a lot of family on my mom's side. My grandparents were divorced when my grandfather divorced my grandmother when my mother was 3 years old and remarried. Both of them remarried. So I have a lot of uncles and aunts on my mom's side and a lot of cousins. Like when I mean a lot of family, I mean a lot of family. Like not, some people say it and they're like, hey, I have a lot of family. No, I have a lot of family, guys. I have, like, seriously, a lot of family. So I want something like, you know, just to bring that one there. I put, like, I'm trying to use pieces that have a lot of white just to give it some breathing space. So I like this ready to explore. Even though I like this, it's just because of the color, it just brings your eye to that a lot. So that's why we're gonna actually use this. By having a lot of white, it just kind of like, you know, plays nicer with everybody else here. Okay, so there you go. Okay, you don't need that much more there. That's all you're gonna need. So we're gonna secure it with a little bit of tape. Right there. We need something else here. See what do we have? I like that this must be the place. I like this. And I want to stay within, like, you know, this pattern here. You see this pattern here? I'm going to bring this into the empty spaces right there. Okay, so I like that better there. I'm still going to add some foam adhesive, some enamel dots to just make that pop a little bit more. But I like that. If not, I'm going to go with, so this, no, I like this better. I like the tone on tone. Okay. Okay, I like that. So, and then here, because I have the pattern, I want to add something that actually has, like, I want an icon for that. So let's take a look at what icons do I have left here. Can I add the boat? It gets lost. So here's where I need something with color. So let's see, what do I have? No. Or I can add it down here. Let's see. I like this perfect spot. Here's the place for that. So perfect spot. This one here, we're just gonna leave it that for now. Okay, we still have a lot to embellish. Don't worry. Let's go back to here. Let me see. I like this camera. So I'm thinking that I might be able to move this down and put the camera a little bit on the slant there. So the camera is gonna go right there. We're gonna add some foam adhesive to this, just to make it pop a little bit more. Foam adhesive is gonna be your friend on this now. Looking at the time, we're almost finished, you see? Good timing. There you go. So now we have little embellishments. Let go. So we have the orange here. Let's go. We have a little. So let's see something else here. Into the area here. So memorable. There's a piece. It's too big. We need a smaller piece. Let's see this. happy place. A happy place. So there you go. Again, V formation. Okay, so we are done with this. We're gonna work on the title. Title is gonna go right here. Where's my ruler? Okay, so I know what my title is gonna be. Where's the E? I wish we had like a big heart. We don't. So we're gonna move this a little bit lower. We love, where's the else? Here. I'm hoping it's straight. An O, an O, an O. Oh my God, I don't have O's. Okay, it's okay. We're gonna go with capitals. Where's the V? Capital V. Guys, I'm going blank. Okay, here we go. We love capital E. We love. I am hoping that I can put Cartagena in one single word, but I doubt it. We love Cartagena. With a T. Cartagena. I might have to move this a bit here. And trust me, guys, I'm praying as I'm putting this, I'm praying that I can put all the words, all the words. Spanish words have a lot of letters. Just in case you haven't realized it. Okay. A little bit more. Okay, here we go. It might not be straight. I might have to straighten it after the live. I finish the live, but I'm gonna take the pictures today, so you guys can see it. If you go into the Pink Fresh Studio Facebook group, you'll see the finished project there. Just in case, but I'm gonna finish it. Don't worry. I like to finish my projects from beginning to start. So just a matter of straightening the title, which I might have to do outside of the camera. That's the only thing that I might have to do outside of the camera. Yeah, I might have to, I'm gonna move it more towards here. Okay, so just so you know that this is going to move a bit more here. You need something over here. Let's look at the ephemera. I saw that there was a little circle. Okay, so this is gonna come right here. Okay, so here we're gonna overlap it a bit more, move it to the side here, actually, not there, to the side. Just to make some of the circle, like the circle things from there. So we're gonna move it a bit there. Dream destination, we're gonna make sure that you can read the dream destination here. We're gonna trim the excess. Okay. Here. Dream destination, make sure you guys can read that part. And this, we're gonna trim the excess. Okay. Like I said, this is going to be, because I'm just looking at it going where I'm gonna move it. Okay, here we go. And then enamel dots. To finish this, let's move this out of the way. I have them here. Green, a little bit of red, and of course, yellow. Journaling, I'm gonna say it's gonna be down here. Okay, so now wherever, green, a little bit of green here, a little bit of blue, a little bit of red. Lightly lift up the piece there, a little bit of this corally tone, just two there, and then on the green here, lift up the green a bit there. Yellow, Oh, stuck to my finger. Okay, we're gonna pop a little bit of, let's see what tone here. I don't want to make it Christmassy, but this blue might look nice here. And a little bit of this orangey tone will be down here. I like this. And then we need some orange down here. Okay, there we go. Like I said, line to journal, or you can trim this and add another piece of paper, but there we go. Okay, so I think she did it in 1.5 hours, you know. Like I said, you guys are gonna see this move a little bit to the right. That's the only thing you're gonna see move this to the right a bit. If you could, you know, I kind of like that. I see that. I like that. So there we go. Let me sit down to flip up the camera and see you guys. Yeah, I like this down here. I think I'm gonna add it right here. Just brings the orange down. I'm gonna move the title, not move it, and just move it to the left a bit. Okay. But I love how this turned out. I hope you guys like it. We have a winner. Congratulations, Laura Rumble. I am so glad you were here with us today and that you actually win prize. So let us know what you're shopping for. There we go, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I like literally this was fun. It is fun to have the extra time to go like, you know, from beginning to end and show you everything. And you guys can hear me blab about how I, you know, do all this. Because I do blab a lot. But thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back to see you guys on September 7th. I'll be back to see you. We'll be working with the same collection. So I'm already have another idea. I'm looking at some of the stuff that I did today and I have an idea. So I will see you then. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Heather. I know you like my shirt. Thank you for the compliments. Thank you. I do like a ball pattern and I'm not wearing black. So, you know, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you guys in a week and a half, 2 weeks or something like that. And then you won't see me until October. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And don't forget to check, you know, the weekend. Don't forget to check everything that's coming up for the sale tomorrow. So take care, guys.